Yeah, that's your
Yeah.
name.
Squirrels got me.
Big Jim.
Yeah.
Really, 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 really cold and fun.
Cold and fun.
Cold and fun.
That's good that you think that of it, because that's what deer hunting typically is cold and fun.
Yesterday morning, I'm glassing up on the pass, and I see these deer moving, and I'm like, ooh, there's deer moving. All of a sudden, I just see this person just head down, just hauling ass, wearing shorts and a t-shirt with a pack on. And I'm like, is that Tard? My dad always talks about floating through the woods like the autumn breeze.
So Robert's
when you're
the ghost, and
275
what's
pounds, I don't know how you do that, but
the Freightliner. It's just like a creeper. You're just kind of up in the corner watching what's going on down there.
yeah,
You know,
he's like,
he's up there slapping it, pissing all over everything.
is it warm yet?
How did you know the name of the actor?
That's I know.
Why'd you say his name?
Hervé Villagers.
You know what pert near means.
If you know what pert near means and you live in America, you're a redneck too.
Welcome to the Log Talk Podcast, brought to you by Pert Near Outdoors.
Yeah, I can hear you.
You put that thing right in front of your mouth, the microphone. Say something.
How's that?
Can't hear you.
How's that?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Talk up.
How's that?
I should be. Keep talking.
Is that better?
That's better.
Perfect.
Okay. You can hear yourself better, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
It is for the first.
Yeah. Am I popping your cherry?
Yeah.
Oh my God. In the HQ and everything.
Exactly.
We have no notes. We don't need notes. Eric Redder, welcome to the Pert Near Podcast HQ. What do you think? My basement's beautiful, isn't it?
Something else.
Yeah, don't look to the south. Keep
Yeah.
right here, right in my little cave.
It's something to behold, that's for sure.
Yeah. So we're oh, that was loud. I'm just gonna kind of do something a little different. I'll put our intro into the start of this discussion, figuring that what I would intro it with is related to what we're here to talk about today. So
Yeah, sure.
this is going to be episode 116, I believe. Eric Redder and I are sitting down here at the house to do a quick podcast to talk about the Tethrd Teach and Train that's coming up next weekend, so a week from tomorrow, the 14th of August, over at Allied Archery. So we hope to see you there if you're listening to this. The purpose of this discussion, we're going to kind of get into what exactly a teach and train looks like, what goes on, what to expect, and maybe for anybody that's on the fence of going or not, that might be a little bit intimidated, that might be new to saddle hunting, or maybe just wants to see what people are up to. I think that's what we're going to try to break down here in this discussion. It's being that Eric has been to an event and been to one in Michigan, so you kind of seen a lot of the tethered people were there, so you kind of know how the event operates and how it runs. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I did a blast today on social media with the beer event information. So keep your eyes peeled. If you haven't seen that, we have an event on Facebook where I'll be putting up posts over the next week and a half leading up to the event with some pictures of prizes. We've got some great stuff just over the last 48 hours that I've been able to get collected. So I've got some stuff sitting on the table here that I picked up from Earth Spirits Archery over in Warsaw. So they were kind enough to donate some stuff. I've got some stuff here from Sugarbush Armory that they're donating. And also I purchased yesterday a Traditions Nitro Fire muzzle loader, 50 cal. It's a new technology muzzle loader. So it's a breechless muzzle loader with I guess they call it like some sort of what the hell do they call it? I don't even know. I don't know what the technology is called, but it's basically like a little shot shell of powder so that you don't have to use pellets or loose powder, which can often be an issue here in the Northeast when you've got rain and snow and stuff like that. So it's new technology. It's really cool. So check that out. If you're interested in what that gun is, go check out the Traditions Nitro Fire online. And we're going to be doing a card game for that, separate raffle at the event. We'll do 52 chances, $20 a chance. So your chances are pretty good at walking away with that gun. It's about I'll just say a $620 value. It's a scope and gun package, so all you need to do is buy your bullets and primers, and it's going to come with one box of the charges.
That's nice.
So you won't have to buy those. I got a bunch of other stuff. We got Millennium tree stand and sticks that the guys from Huntworks hooked us up with. I got 22 different vendors that we're working with to get stuff put together. So really excited about the event, and hope to see everybody there at Windy Brew on the 22nd of August. Will you be there?
Oh, yeah. I'm going.
Oh, of course. You're pert near pro staff, you know?
Am I now?
Yeah, I mean, you're one of the hardest working pro staff members out there.
You know, the event you had in the fall, I won something. So
You did, and so did one of your buddies you came with. I think, did
yeah.
Justin win something, or did...
Well, he ended up getting the site that I won. 'Cause
That's right.
It's a right-handed HHA.
Or Justin didn't come. You were there with...
No, Justin came too.
He did.
Another one of my buddies came. Yeah, it was a good time.
It was a good time.
Crap weather, but
It was
a good
crap
time.
weather, and hopefully we won't have that this time. We are going to have... I haven't mentioned this much, but we are going to have some mounts there to show off. So I got a couple of the tree stand displays, like for portables. If you go into a store, they have those tree stand displays. I got to cut some logs to fit in there, and we got 99% sure that Angelo's bringing Frankenbeans.
Ooh.
So people will be able to see that deer in the flesh, which will be pretty cool because he's pretty incredible. So anybody that's been following along with us knows the history of that buck. I'm going to bring my bear. I think Jimmy's going to bring one of his best bucks, and my dad will probably bring one. I got to try to get a couple other people to bring some stuff, but it'd be pretty cool. Have a lot going on that day, so it should be a good time.
Yeah, it's a good time of year to have it too.
It is. I hope. We'll find out. Seems like people are going to be enjoying it. A Sunday afternoon, hopefully some nice weather. People will be out there having a grand old time.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. So, Eric, let's dive right into the purpose of this discussion. So, I guess just introduce yourself real quick, a little bio. Maybe we'll talk about how you and I met, and then we can kind of roll into the discussion about the event.
Yeah.
And I guess how we got there, because you're really the whole reason why this event's coming to Buffalo. So
I wouldn't go that far.
it is. If it wasn't for you and your hard work, we wouldn't be doing this next weekend.
I just clicked a couple buttons. No, my name's Eric. I'm just a high school teacher here in the area. I grew up in Ohio, and my wife's from Western New York, so she moved us back right before COVID hit. And you and I got connected, and then I ended up meeting a buddy that I kind of run around with, Justin, at the BHA event in West Seneca, right?
Mm-hmm. The pint night there at Rusty Nickel.
It was a good night. It was a good time. And started following you guys and what you're doing. And regarding the Tethrd event, this past year, I had spring break off and looking for something to do and just following these teaching trains. I've saddle hunted off and on and hunt out of a mobile stand. So none of that's new to me per se, but I had time, My school spring break, like everyone else's, doesn't line up with our turkey season here. So I thought, all right, I got to find something to do. I'm married, I got 2 kids, and my wife gave me the green light. So
I'm getting the hell out of town.
Well, not necessarily, but, you're going to take advantage of it when you can. And so I actually went out to the Teach and Train out in Michigan. Stayed with one of the guys who was helping facilitate it, Tim Clark. He's one of their, regional pro staff in Michigan. He's actually coming to do ours, and he's going to stay at my house. Turned out to be a pretty decent buddy now, and we chat a lot over Marco Polo and text. And
you connected with him. Did you reach out? How did you get? So you're pretty new to hunting. Like, you really haven't been. It's not like when you and I first met, I assumed you'd been hunting for like your whole life because you were like so passionately into it and seemed to really have a good grasp of what was going on. But you're pretty new.
Yeah. I didn't grow up in a hunting family. I grew up in the burbs, didn't really grow up around it. And one day I remember I was living in North Carolina at the time. We'll make this quick. My wife and I were having an argument during Sunday Night Football, and a Cabela's commercial came on. And I said, I'm going to do that. I'm going to hunt one of these days. This might have been 2017 or 2018. And she's like, no, you're not. You say you're going to, but you're not. I'm like, to heck with that. I went upstairs, signed up for the Hunter Ed course or whatever I had to do, and ended up, going hunting that first year. They have an extended rifle season down there, and got permission from a work friend of hers, and Shot 2 deer on my first night, my first sit, which was great. And then just been off and running ever since. Not killing necessarily, but off and running. And so, yeah, I just took my spring break, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go out to the Teach and Train event. And I'm the contact info for ours here at Allied Sportsmen. I'm a member of the club there, but I got our club to host it, so I'm just the contact person. I'm the administrator. But Tim was the contact person for the one in Michigan.
Okay.
And so I just reached out and said, hey, are there campgrounds nearby, or are there, what's the club like? Because we can camp at Allied if you're a member and things like that. And so he's like, well, what's the reason you're asking? I was like, oh, I'm coming a little ways away. And he's like, I got plenty of room. You can stay at my house. I was like, really? That's so nice of you. Like, super cool, right?
That's pretty incredible.
Like, he's a super cool dude. And so, funny, the Utica event got canceled. It was supposed to be on July 24th. And so as the contact person, a couple people from Utica reached out to me. And I kind of got the feeling that they were trying to do the same thing I was, figure out where to stay. And I said, you guys looking for a place to stay? So I've never met these two guys. They seem pretty cool. We've traded info over text, and they're going to stay with me for the event, as is Tim. But anyway.
Full house.
Yeah. So wife and kids will be gone that weekend. That'll be good. They'll be at my in-laws. So
Nice.
But, yeah, I basically just reached out to Tethrd and Tim and said, hey, how do you sponsor one of these? I kind of connected with you. Because we've been talking about you and I doing something.
Yeah, you've been kicking me in the ass trying to get me to do an event, and I'm like, Eric, I'm too freaking busy. And you're like, come on, man, you got all this going on, you could do it. I'm like, Eric, I don't have time. And then you finally, that's how it went, right? I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, I remember.
You were pushing me pretty hard.
It was a weekend call. I was driving to one of my side jobs, and I was we got to get together. There's snow on the ground. We were going through the grind, dark days. Long hours and family and kids. I'm like, I need some of this, in person sort of whatever, hunting camp stuff. And
right.
We had kind of talked about it, and then I just said, to heck with it. I'm going to go to this one in Michigan, and then things snowballed. And literally all I did was click buttons, email them or message them, and they said, oh, you want to do this for us and market and promote it? Great, you can do that. You're responsible for everything. I was like, oh, God. So, no, we got 119 people signed up.
Should be 120. My father registered this morning.
Did he?
Yeah, so that should be 120.
Now, what does he think of dangling from one of them saddles?
He's very interested in it. My dad is never whatever he thinks of this stuff deep down, he doesn't tell.
Yeah.
He doesn't tell me. But most of my family will tell me. So like all my other uncles are like, you're freaking out of your mind,
That's what my archery president said.
But my dad's interested. He's like, I don't know if I could ever see myself. My dad's a big son of a gun. So he just wants to come over there. He wants to be involved, and he wants to see what's going on with it. But yeah, I'm excited just to see what the event's all about. And you've been to one. So you organized this, you got it set up, you got everything lined up. So like what does an event day look like? What does a Teach and Train have in store for people that are going to be there?
Yeah. Every event's going to be different based on the setup. So I can talk about our Allied one.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to just share what I got to do at the
yeah, please do.
At the Michigan one. So Tethrd, obviously, they're the organizational body who's sort of facilitating it, but it was Tim Clark and then Adam Miller of the Bowhunter Chronicles podcast who kind of facilitated that at their club out there in Western Michigan. And so I think we had 80 guys there who attended the day. And
so you're saying we're going to most likely, hopefully, blow them out of the water.
Yeah,
that's what you're saying.
Yeah, we're going to make everyone.
You're kind of a big deal.
Yeah, we're a big deal, right? 119 people so far, 120. So it's almost like a show and tell or a gear dump. So Tethrd sends a lot of promo stuff. There's no point of sale things.
Okay. It's good. That's a good thing to hit because I had somebody ask me if they'd be able to buy equipment there.
No. So there will be a waiver to sign up just because hopefully you'll be climbing in the stuff, trying it. But also, if you provide your email and it's legible and I can make it out, I'll add you to the email list and you'll get a promo code with the discount. I think it's like 10 days long to use on any merchandise from their store that you got to handle. But, I mean, the stuff isn't in Cabela's, right? It's not in Dick's.
Really, no. I mean, you can't go anywhere and try saddle
No, you can't
stuff.
go anywhere. It's kind of...
It's niche.
It's niche, yeah.
But it's you can't. So you don't know it
No.
until you actually
exactly.
try it.
So they send a big travel tote, essentially, of stuff. And it's like a gear dumper, show and tell. And there were 4 or 5 trees rigged up with platforms, different saddles, different sets of ropes. And
We're talking Michigan.
Yeah, in Michigan. Yeah, good. Yeah. And so guys could freely go up to the trees, try them, climb on them, just get a feel for them. And then after about an hour of people loosening up, getting to know each other, saying hello, looking at the stuff, Tim, who was the lead presenter at that event and who will be the one at this event, he has about a 30 to 45-minute presentation because guys are coming from every different walk of life in terms of hunting. Some people are used to climbing, some people aren't, some people hang presets, some people don't like to climb, some people use climbers, some people use lock-ons. Everyone's got different perspectives. So he does a good job of teaching just sort of the basics of how to climb and then how to use your saddle, and you are tethered to the tree so you're safe the whole time. And then he goes into sort of the minutia of you want your bow here, and this is how you want to pivot to make this type of shot, or this is where you want to put your pack, or this is how he brings up his pack, this is how he carries his stick. So it's good because it's for the new hunter or the new saddle hunter, but then if you've been mobile hunting or you've been saddle hunting, he's been doing it for 12 years. So he was back on the Archery Talk forum, the old saddle hunter forum before Tethrd became a thing and all this stuff was
everywhere,
exactly.
If you're looking for it.
If you were looking for it. So
right.
He was one of like the originals back then doing all this stuff. And so he's got so much knowledge. And so, I stayed at his house, which was great, but I got like multiple sort of private sessions of him running through how he does it and sharing and showing with me and my buddy who went out there with him. And so he's just a wealth of knowledge, and those events are great. And after he kind of does his thing, 30, 40 minutes, guys are then more excited or encouraged to go try it on their own, and they just try out the gear, and we just sort of trade stories, and it's a really good chance to get your hands on a lot of that product.
Mm-hmm.
And the cool thing about the one in Western Michigan, which we will do here in Western New York, is because it was facilitated by Adam, the co-host of the Bowhunter Chronicles podcast, he had a lot of other gear, different saddles, non-tethered, just because he wanted to share and show. He had like a single Lone Wolf custom gear stick. There was like a 1.0 stand, just all these different brands of sort of mobile gear that, like you said, you can't buy. So Adam's actually going to ship that to Tim. He's going to bring that out. And so...
Oh, so he's got a container of stuff that he's going to...
Yeah, and that's the cool thing about Tethrd is like, this isn't me stumping for them. The premise of the event is to grow the sport or grow saddle hunting, right? Obviously, they're facilitating it. They're providing some of the meals, and they're providing the logistics behind it. Everyone who signed up, I think there's at least one prize allocated to everybody, so it could be something from a keychain. I won a Predator pack. Somebody could win a Phantom or a Predator platform or ropes or whatever, or a T-shirt. But they really invest in sort of the sport and the type of mobile hunting, but it's not as if you bring out another brand saddle that they're going to say, well, you can't have that here. This is a Tethrd event only. That's not how it is. I mean, so Adam's actually shipping that stuff to Tim, which will be great. So even more product will be available for people to try because what you like, I might not like, and what I like, you might not like. I mean, it's like shoes.
Yeah.
You could be a Nike guy or an Adidas guy or whatever, or you could, be a Mendel guy or a Danner guy, or you could be a Crispy guy, whatever. So the point of it is, there's going to be a lot of cool things to try, and you can't go to the store and see these things, and it's almost like you have to buy in order to try. If you're cruising the classifieds online or you're talking to buddies, there's no other way to get this stuff. So
nope. And what I'm excited for is so I've been saddle hunting for, this will be my 3rd season I'm going into, so 2 years I've saddle hunted with no, expert teaching. I just literally bought the stuff, figured it out. So I have no idea if I'm doing it right, if I'm doing it wrong.
Well, you killed a deer out of it last year, right?
I've killed a pile of deer. Most of my deer over the last 2 years I've killed out of it.
There you go.
That's all that really matters. But there's little, I have the figurator from Genesis 3D printing. I have the thing on my rope, but it doesn't make sense to me. I can't, and I don't take the time to. I know that there's tons of resources out there and YouTube videos and stuff, but I don't know, my attention span is just now there's so much stuff going on in my life that I do not have the time to sit down and watch videos how to do it. So if I can go to an event like this
And see it.
and see somebody else use it and how it functions, that's the best thing for me, because I just don't have time. Like, it used to be like you and I are in a very similar stage with our kids, but when your kids are like, when you have kids, yeah, you're busy, but when your kids are like 1 day old to like 6 months old, like, you can control what's on the television.
Oh, yeah.
And as soon as they get to a point to understand what it is that they want, like, your nice Saturday mornings watching YouTube and hunting videos are gone, because that's it. So I'm very excited, because I know that there's going to be several people there that have other brands of stuff.
Yep.
That have different components like that, from whether it be Genesis 3D printing or the different ascenders that are out there, different accessories. There's going to be a lot of stuff there to see and use, and to meet other people like us that are in this area. Apparently there's 100 people that are interested in this stuff, and like, funny story, my shitter was full last week, so I had to have the septic guy come. He came out this Monday, and I was wearing a National Deer Association 3/4 zip whatever shirt. And he's like, Deer Association, what's that? So I'm telling him what the Deer Association is. And he's like, you ever heard, what type of hunting do you do? I'm like, well, I deer hunt, and I go out west every few years, and I've really gotten big into saddle hunting. And just like threw it out there. And he's like, you saddle hunt? I was like, yeah. He's like, dude, I'm like I've been listening. I've been watching these videos on YouTube. And he's like, I think I'm really into it. Like, do you know who John Eberhard is? I'm like, well, I know of him. I don't know him, but whatever. I know of the guy. And he's like, oh, yeah, he's a big saddle hunter. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you should come to the Tethrd Teach and Train next week. So I don't know if he was super interested. I gave him all the information. I sent him the link to sign up.
Good.
So, I think people are interested in it, but they just don't know what it's all about. So it'll be cool just to see who it is that shows up and what type of engagement there is out there, because I think it's just a really fun thing to be able to get people together this close to deer season. Everybody's brains are switching on to brown furry things, and it's just going to be a fun event.
Yeah, I was initially worried when I looked at their current calendar of these teaching trains. I was like, did we miss the window? Because we have such a late turkey season that some of the other states, they do this earlier in the year because of when their turkey season lines up. And then now as I'm in it, I'm going, all right, Labor Day's coming. The 4th just happened. Weather's turning. Now this is the perfect time to do this. And if we have this response this year, and it's, marginally attended, or it's pretty well attended, the goal is to have it again if Tethrd will have it. And so to kind of share what the outline is for the one here in Western New York, it's going to be from 12 to 4 at Allied Sportsmen off Clinton Street in Alden, New York. And
very easy to get to from anywhere.
Very easy to get to. We're a full service sportsman club with, trap and pistol, and we got fishing, and the only thing we don't have is a rifle range. We got archery, obviously. There's going to be a novelty Sasquatch, I think, like winner take all shoot in the morning.
Oh, really?
With a 3D shoot starting at 8 a.m. So for $10 you can walk up. That's organized by the club. My board member, the board rep, who I'm kind of coordinating with through this thing. And then, so say you did the 3D shoot, you came at 9 or 9:30. You could do that. It'd run up to about, 11:30. And then our event's going to kick off from 12 to 4. And if you signed up via the registration link, you can message Billy or myself this week and get you on. The rationale behind that is, one, that's a head count, so then we'll get you food. So Tethrd's going to hook you up with food. I'm going to organize that. But then they'll know how many prizes to send out. And then...
Is there a deadline for that? Because obviously, they're going to have to ship stuff early next week.
Yeah, I'm talking with one of their individuals in terms of when they're shipping stuff. And so I would assume, when I last talked to him a couple weeks ago, it was coming early in the week, just so I can
probably ship stuff yesterday or today, probably.
Maybe, yeah, just because I got to inventory all the stuff, all the demo stuff, and then the prizes. But and then at Allied, we've got we've got a bar, we've got grill with food, we've got snacks, and so I imagine people who are traveling in, or maybe you're coming from Syracuse or Rochester, you might want to grab a burger or dog. And so if you are interested in that, you'll just have to pay for that through the club. But
But lunch will be provided.
Lunch will be
right
provided.
around. Are you guys gonna? So you're thinking you'll do food first, and then get started with things to kind of break the ice?
Yeah. So I was talking to Tim actually he's going away for the weekend, so I wanted to get a hold of him before we got together.
Mhm.
It's Friday right now in podcast land, and
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, we're gonna just kind of let people mill in. Typically, guys, they're excited, they're eager, they come in 20, 30 minutes early, which is great. Kind of look at stuff and then get to know everybody. So we'll have food ready, we'll have it there, and then kind of the main festivities, if you will start around 1:15. Again, Tim will do his thing, and then we'll stay and answer. Not we, Tim, the real expert, will answer any questions and provide any feedback he can. I'll just be manning the booth for where the bathroom is or where to go, and we'll be doing it on our 3D course in the back by the pond if you've been there. So it's just like a nice little flat, and there's trees everywhere. It's right in the heart of our 3D course, which is great. So you get real pictures and real experiences as to what it's like. Bring your bow if you want to shoot the 3D course, or you want to shoot up front. Like, there's opportunities to do that. I know I'll be bringing my own personal setup just to show and share and let people try, because I'm not a big guy, so it works for me. It doesn't work for everybody. And
You're talking your own personal saddle.
Yeah, my own personal saddle and setup. So I don't know what you're going to be bringing, or if you're going to bring anything, but I mean, feel free to do that if you want to bring stuff. You don't have to.
And I think everybody should be encouraged to bring what you use to saddle hunt.
Yep.
Like because one of the things I see on these different groups on Facebook in particular is just like the question over and over again, what's the best pack for saddle hunting? So if you're listening to this and you're coming, bring what you use, whatever backpack, or if you use a certain special pack that you've made out of multiple different things, just bring it, because people are interested. Like, that's the cool part about doing this sort of show and tell type deal, is that you get to see what other people are actually using, rather than, that's what's cool about what Tethrd's doing with this, is that it's not like just a demo day of tethered stuff. Like, there's all sorts of things for you to look at. So I'm going to bring my whole getup, what I use for my backpack and how I set it up, so that people can see it. Because there might be, maybe out of these 100 people, there might be a few people that might run the same setup I do with my Kafaru pack and my bag, but I'm guessing maybe not. Like, I might be one of the few people in this area that have that. I don't know. We'll find out. But I think it's the cat's meow, and I would really like to show it off. And I know that down at the one in Pennsylvania that Jim D and Jeremy put on down there, there was several different types of packs and people getting to see them. And I know that there was some Kafaru packs that were sold because of that event, because people saw how functional they were and how well they handle this style of hunting, So
yeah, I mean, the focus is right, like Tethrd sending their stuff to demo, but by guys bringing their own stuff, it just helps all of us. Like, I know going into the Michigan event, I had seen you post about your Timber Ninja sticks, and I was like, all right, great. Like, I want to check these out. And there's the carbon fiber version, which is, the premium version. And then there's the aluminum version, which is just as good. It's just different price point for different people. Mm-hmm. And I tried both of them, and I was like, they're okay. But then I got my hands on the Beast sticks, which I'd never laid hands on. And I got Beast sticks up in my car right now that I was using today. And for me, once I got my hands on the hunting Beast sticks, I was like, this is it.
You like them a lot?
Yeah, and a guy had just brought them. It wasn't facilitated by Tim or anyone. It was just sort of that community of, like, share and show through these teach and train events. And so I think that's the best thing. And then, you'd have to imagine people who are generally in this area 2 to 3 to 4 hours away are coming. So we all hunt the same climate, generally the same type of habitat. Mm-hmm. So a pack that you use is going to speak to somebody in Northeast Ohio, Northwest Pennsylvania, Central New York, wherever they're coming from. Mm-hmm. Because we're all in the same area. So I think that's really worthwhile to see, because, oh, wow, like, I've been missing this, or I needed a way to store or whatever, carry that. Like, it just bleeds into other things. You know what I mean? And I am by no means like a saddle expert or like a saddle tribalist. Like, I still use lock-on when and where necessary, but it's just cool to see different things and get different perspectives, and then you meet people and your network grows, and then your wife's getting pissed at you because you're talking to your internet friends that you haven't ever met, but you're like best friends with. And she goes, how can you be friends with someone you've never met?
Hey, now you're in my basement, Eric. Yeah.
She goes,
it puts lotion on the skin.
You're talking to your internet friends, but you've never met them. And I'm like, oh.
Listen, I'm closer to my internet friends than you are with your good friends. But
yeah, that's great.
what was I going to say? Yeah, and I think that's a good point about the, you don't have to be. I think saddle hunting gets a bad rap because there are so many people that are like,
Saddle hunter died.
yeah, fucking saddle hunter. Like you don't have to be that. And
No.
there's been an interesting dialogue going on amongst the Genesis 3D field staff. We've got a Marco Polo group going.
Who are those people again? You're one of them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know how much shit I get because of you? Because you showed up there and you actually did, like, give Austin a hard time. And you touched him inappropriately. You Cuomo'd him.
So he says.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I?
very timely. Oh, yeah.
well played.
What was I going to say? But in that group, those guys on there are just, like, I'm not as hardcore
Me either.
saddle as they
Me
are.
either.
But there's been an interesting dialogue going on about, like, maybe it's good to have your stuff, but you don't always need to rely on. You don't have to be in a tree all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that saddle hunting gives you that, run and gun with a portable or a climber just can't give you, because that saddle equipment, if you get your system tuned, you literally don't even know you have it with you. And then that moment presents itself where you need to get in a tree, you can do it like easily and very quietly and with very minimal equipment. Whereas with a stand and sticks or a climber, you've got just stuff. So there was many times last year where during gun season, where I carried my saddle and my sticks, because altogether it's like 10 pounds, and you just strap it on. And if I need it today, great. If not, who cares? It's just in my backpack. So I think it's as we all kind of progress as hunters and try to put more tools in our toolbox, I think having understanding of what saddle hunting is and or the equipment to do it, it could only make you a better hunter, because you can take a lot of different areas where other people can't get or can't hunt with standard methods of elevating yourself. You can now do that with some ropes and a harness and get yourself elevated. So it's a pretty incredible tool. It's not the end all be all, but it's something that can really help you be more efficient in more places. So
Yeah, I had that same conversation with a buddy about hunting PA during rifle season.
Yeah.
Just sort of bringing that over. Some mountain laurel,
yeah,
an hour or two, and then getting down.
yeah. Just you don't
push
even
it.
have to get up that high. Just
No,
get up a few feet off the ground.
Yeah, just another tool.
Yep. Tool in the toolbox. So I'm looking forward to it. So it sounds like the event next weekend, obviously it's 12 to 4 is the actual tethered event.
Saturday, August 14th.
Did I say next weekend? What did I say?
No, you said that. I just want to make
Oh,
sure.
you want to confirm the date?
confirm the date.
Okay, good
Saturday,
job.
August
I'm glad
14th.
you're here because
Well, it's my first time, and I'm trying to make
no,
sure.
you're doing. You're Eric. Fantastic. You're not tripping over your words. You're not. Like I can't hear your voice.
Well,
trembling.
I do this for a living.
You
right?
do.
I
You
do.
talk.
I do.
You talk in front of people, children,
Teenagers
impressionable children.
who don't care.
Yeah.
I love my job.
Yeah.
I love my job.
my job. Thank you for my tax money. 12 to 4
Yeah,
next
12 to 4.
Saturday, the 14th, Allied Sportsmen's Club.
Of Western New York. Yeah, and
Western New York.
and if you guys stay late or you come late or you're not able to get there on time, we will stay as long as you need to give you a chance to see the product, to handle the product, to ask any questions. Tim is a wealth of resource. I am just the paper pusher, the administrator, so I will funnel you towards him or anyone else who knows more than me, which is pretty much everyone there. But it's a fun event, right? Yeah. We haven't been able to have the show hunting season because of things going on this past year and a half. So now more than ever, it's great to get together with like-minded individuals and talk about fun things and see cool things that we all want to spend our money on. That
for sure.
But yeah, so it's 12 to 4, and we'll be there as long as you want.
Just recap the shoot in the morning. That's where I was going.
Yeah. So the 3D shoot is run by Allied Sportsmen, so that'll start at 8 a.m. If you want to come, just walk on. No registration needed. $10 a shooter. And I think the walk-on closes at maybe 10. You can message me or you can look up Allied Sportsmen on Facebook or Instagram.
Which that's you anyway.
It is me, yeah.
Right.
I started them and I managed it.
I know.
Because we didn't have any. So I thought, you know what, this is a great way to to get people out there. But anyway, I'll answer those questions. I'll send you the flyer, but the info is all on there. And yeah, if you're coming from a ways away, it's a good opportunity to shoot. Then you can grab a drink, grab a snack, whatever. Then we'll have lunch, and you can make a full day of it. If you can't make the shoot, no big deal.
Yeah.
Come for what you can.
I think we haven't talked about it in a little while, but I'm planning on bringing the podcast equipment.
No,
and
that's cool.
I don't know if we have the opportunity. If it feels right, we'll bust it out. If not, I don't want to. I'm not going to make it a thing. But if there's anybody that wants to sit down, or maybe we do something later, and I know you and I even talked about maybe getting together in the evening. That you guys are going to be hanging out back at your house Saturday evening, correct? So
Yeah.
We'll see what.
A couple other
transpires.
influencers are going to be there from the area. People who run significant Facebook pages in the hunting world. It's going to be a big event.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Or we're all just think we know we have lots of influence and we're just influencing each other. Maybe we're just talking to each other. I don't know.
Don't tell our wives that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, my wife thinks I'm a big deal. No, she doesn't. She thinks I'm a freaking joke.
Does she?
Yeah. She's like, why are you doing this? I'm like, because I like it.
How can you be doing that? How can you watch that all day?
How can you talk about hunting?
How can you talk about the
Again?
same thing again and again and again?
I think I told you this has been the hardest part. Maybe I don't know if it was you or if it was somebody else, but no, it was somebody else, I think. The deal with my wife about going on this elk hunt was that I couldn't talk about it in front of her.
There you go. See,
So-
when you said it on the podcast that I heard a couple months back, someone had brought it up in front of her in a family gathering, and you're like, whoa, don't.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Yeah.
So
it
that's
was
all I know.
Brian brought it up. It was either Brian or AJ or both of them. I think we were all together. They brought it up. We were over at her parents. It was during the winter, late winter, nice Sunday winter day, and we're over there. Had a bonfire out in the snow, and we're having a grand time. And somebody brings up the hunt, the elk hunt this year, and I'm like, no. I'm like, I'm playing the long game right now.
You haven't greased those pipes
No,
yet?
I'm like, I have not. I'm like, she is going to make her decision on whether she wants to go to Disney with her sister and her mother, with the kids. She's going to make that decision. I am not having. If she says, Billy, you can go hunting, I'm going to go hunting. But I am not pushing that envelope. So Father's Day, she gave me the green light. She's like, My gift to you is that you can go elk hunting. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, but the only deal is you can't talk about it around me, period. I don't want to hear about it. I was like, done? But it's hard because we're around each other all the time, and when we're out at family gatherings or with our friends are my hunting buddies that I'm going hunting with, and I can't talk about it. So this is my outlet. I can talk about my hunt and my problems that I have. And you know what? It's probably a good thing. Because I don't need her upset with me about nothing. Because she's got what I want.
I do.
Mm-hmm. You do know.
Know that life.
Yes.
For sure.
So next weekend, it's going to be a good time.
Yep.
We'll be posting this Monday. So.
Come on out.
Yep. Anything else before we wrap it? I think we did a pretty good job of not blowing this thing out to be a super long discussion. So.
Just come on out. What else you got to do?
So you were listening to the Ron Polabuck podcast installment today, installment number 4, correct?
Mm-hmm. Coming on in, yeah.
What do you think?
I haven't finished it yet, but just like
pretty interesting discussion.
Well, just like you talk about Marco Polo, you and your buddies, I'm in another one of those Marco Polos, so I kind of cheated it. I heard people's take on the podcast. We're talking about the Deer Hunter podcast.
Yeah.
About this big deer that was shot in the 90s, the Ron Polo buck, and everyone's breaking it down on the Marco Polo, and then I start listening to it on the podcast, so I kind of regret doing that. But
why? What do you?
Well, some people are saying, "Oh, I was pro Mitch, and now I'm
right.
Now I don't believe him, and I haven't gotten through everything yet. I haven't gotten through the whole podcast to hear."
It's a pretty fast, and it's one of those things where now that I forget the guy's name he's got on. His name. The guy who we had on that he
the
was
taxidermist.
Yeah.
I don't know his name.
Nathan Killen.
Okay.
And I think he's friends with Jason Red from Timber Ninja because I feel like I've heard him mention that name before.
Maybe, yeah.
But he, the stuff he's bringing up and the points he's making, I'm like, why did I not, why didn't I pick up on that? Because I've seen these pictures and it seems kind of ridiculous, these pictures, but it's like, I don't know. I mean, I guess he shot a huge buck. I don't know, But then you start listening to him breaking this stuff down. It's like, well, how did that get by me? And I'm thinking about the time that I shot. I think it was my first deer I ever shot on opening day of gun season. We brought it back to the house, and my dad's like, Bill, we're gonna screw some horns onto its head and see if your mother recognizes. We'll come and show her that you got your first deer. And he'd had these horns off of this buck he shot. It was a nice 7-pointer. And like, it's a small doe I shot, my first deer. And it was just like screwed him. And my mom came out. She's like, "Oh my God, Billy, that's a great first buck. Oh my God." Totally over her head. Didn't catch it. So made me think of my mother. I love her so much. And that she would probably realize that was a fake, but she was just supporting her.
Does she know?
Her young son. I don't know. It doesn't matter at this point. Damage is done.
The real question is, are you going to do the same for your son?
Oh, yes. You better believe it. So, all right. Let's wrap her up.
Good deal.
Looking forward to next weekend, buddy. Thanks for stopping by, and thanks, everybody, for listening. Keep feeding them, and we'll see you next Saturday, the 14th of August. I'm going to hit the stop button right now. Feed them.